Press Here is available as a podcast on iTunes.
Welcome back to Press Here. If you are a hacker, I think the dumbest possible target of your hacking would be the Department of Homeland Security. Hacking the DHS would be like poking a nest of angry hornets. Lots of jail time, right? Well, it turns out someone in Washington is encouraging hackers to hack the DHS. Senator Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire, her bill, S-1281, also titled the Hack the Department of Homeland Security bill, passed the Senate last week. If it passes the House, approved by the president, I guess you could hack the government legally. Marten Mickos is a hacker. In fact, he leads a team of hackers as CEO of security company HackerOne. Thanks for being with us this morning. I understand you didn't write the bill, but you're familiar with it. Why in the world would someone want somebody to hack the DHS?
Hackers are good. They're here to make our internet and our connected society more secure. And the government is seeing that, and they're now taking measures to mandate it for DHS and other agencies. And so maybe one day...
White hat hackers, like this would be like a bank saying, try to break into our safe.
Exactly. And paying you when you can break in.
There's an old movie, Sneakers. I don't know if you've seen it.
There is.
I love that movie.
It is a wonderful movie, and it explains our business model completely. And there are hundreds of thousands of white hat hackers out there who want to do good, who know how to break in. And if you let them break in first, nobody else can break in after that.
So why is there a legislative effort to do this with DHS? Because I know the Department of Defense has a couple of bug bounty programs, right? They have hacked the Pentagon, hacked the Air Force. So why do we need a legislative rule that says, okay, DHS is going to do this too?
It's very possible that DHS would do it anyhow and that they don't need the law for that. I think it is great that society, meaning Capitol Hill, is stepping in and setting the bar for this, because the state of cyber threats and cyber criminality is so bad, it will take legislative action to fix it. Whether this law is the best one could be argued, but we are moving in the right direction finally.
Well,
So
it's great for your business model, right, to have it legislatively required?
It is great for the business model, but it's great for society. We are doing this, sure, we are building a great business, but if we don't do this, this society will not function.
I wanted to ask you about your opinion on some of the changes that Uber announced today regarding their bug bounty program. I know you're familiar with it. They're largely procedural changes, sort of providing clarity on, what belongs in the bug bounty program and what doesn't. Do you think that that's the fix that Uber really needed to do in the aftermath of the revelation of the 2016 data breach that it did treat as a bug bounty program? Or is this more kind of fancy PR and something else really needs to change?
I think there are two sides to this. One is the bug bounty program that Uber has been running has been very, very successful and continues to be so. And making changes to it is natural, and they're making good changes now. So we should see all of that in the positive light. If you go back to the incident of 2016, there was one major failure there by Uber. There was the failure not to notify the authorities about the incident. That was the main problem of it. All the rest is much lesser in terms of severity or importance.
For the behalf of the viewer, just in case, although bug bounty is fairly obvious, it is the payment. If you find a bug, something in the software that is incorrect, we will give you money for that, which encourages people to then try to find those bugs. And I want to go back to my analogy of you hire people to break into banks. When it comes to breaking into, say, the DHS, you don't want to use dynamite to blow up the safe, right? I mean, how do I hack somebody who wants to be hacked, but not in a way in which I've made them upset or damage? You know what I mean? I know that's a tough question to answer without getting specific about hacks work, but how do I not blow up the safe in the process?
That's why you need somebody who orchestrates it, who is the middleman for creating trust on both sides. Because there's risk for both the hacker and the company. The hacker risks being prosecuted and the company risks being breached. Yes. So you need to set the rules for that, and you need to be very clear about the intent of both sides. And because we track our hackers, we know what they've done before, we know that they have good intent, and then
You're the referee in this
We're
game.
the referee, yes, very true. And the company will then say, if you act according to our rules, we will not press charges against you, but you're welcome to hack. And it's all about the intent of the hacker and what is authorized conduct and what is unauthorized conduct. And that's what we define in the policy documents like Uber recently did.
So the bug bounty payouts, or the payments that the hackers receive for finding vulnerabilities, How big are those, and how much have they grown over the last few years as bug bounty programs have become more popular?
Bug bounty programs are very popular today. The average bounty has been trending up a little bit. We started a few years ago at around $300 per bounty. Then it went to $500. Now we're $600 across the whole platform. But within that average, you have very high maxima. Like we have Intel now offering $250,000 for the most severe reports they can get. And many companies pay $50 or $100 for a vulnerability. So it completely depends on how severe the vulnerability is, meaning how bad it would be if a criminal exploited it.
With these kinds of financial incentives getting really high in the private sector, how can we make sure that there's also bug bounty programs going on in the public sector and that we're securing, election systems, government agencies, when the payouts are so much higher on the private side?
We tend to think that the government, the federal agencies are behind the trend here, but they aren't. We see very good activity on their side. Hack the Pentagon, hack the Army, hack the Air Force. GSA has a program. Now DHS will have a program. So actually, the federal government is in the forefront of this. Sure, we have to extend it to state government as well, voting machines and so on. But we already have a good start, I would say.
Martin, you mentioned that you have hackers, and it almost seemed to me that you've not met them. Is that, there are hackers you've never met? Is that fair to ask?
There are many I haven't met, many I haven't.
How do you know they're good guys? I mean, you're leading a team of white hat hackers, but how do you know there's not a bad guy in the bunch?
Well, first of all, the only reason to join our network is for doing good. There's no benefit to you if you're a bad guy, and you get rewarded only for your good deeds. A little bit like in the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, where you get badges and you advance. And it is the most advanced hackers that we invite to the most attractive programs. So to get there, you have to show over a long time that you perform well, that you are a good guy, meaning a good hacker, and that you report the vulnerabilities to the owner of the system.
Martin,
and that's how we know.
Marten Mickos is the CEO of HackerOne. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Scott.
Well, up next, an entrepreneur who is 2 feet ahead in wearable technology when Press Here continues.